Yes,
Shall
ma'am.
we?
All the members have joined. Can we start?
Okay. Yes, yes, please.
Yeah. So, ma'am, I would like to introduce you to my audience. So, Miss Priyadarshini, or I would say Professor Priyadarshini, is currently the professor at SDNB Vaishnav College. She has done master in psychology. She has published various journals and books in national and international conferences, including the two of the most famous journals, UGC Care and Scopus Index. She has been the mentor for many students who emerged as successful entrepreneurs. Apart from this, she works as psychiatric social worker for Nirvana Foundation, where she deals with youth who are addicted to drugs. She is one of the experts in psychology, narrative practitioner, and a professor. Well, ma'am, it's an honor having you here.
Thank you, Rishabh. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. So, how the session has to go? So,
Yeah, ma'am. So through this half an hour long episode, we trying to go over the psychological aspects of ulcer, or we can say how ulcer affects the mental health of an individual. So coming
yes.
to the first question is how does a person's psyche work if he is suffering from ulcer?
So, I think you all would have got some basic introduction about peptic ulcer. I hope so. So, when looking into the perspective of psychological perspective, so generally, when an individual is affected with any sort of illness, he'll be mentally so depressed, like he cannot able to do his daily activities. It may be sleeping, it may be eating, or going to work, or whatever it may be. So, when it comes to peptic ulcer, he'll be having some sort of stress, and he'll be having depression. He or she will be having depression, and most probably when it becomes a more chronic peptic ulcer means they'll be having some suicidal ideation. Since generally they'll not be able to eat, they'll not be able to talk, they'll not be able to chew and have their foods, and even drink water or whatever it may be. So all these things will add pressure to their social perspectives of living in a better life. So these all the problems or the psyche of a particular individual who is affected with peptic ulcer disorder.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Moving to the second question. How is the person supposed to deal with anxiety, which is caused due to pain while he is suffering through mouth ulcer?
Yes, so 1 minute.
Okay.
So as I said before, people with the peptic ulcer, it may be stomach ulcer, it may be duodenum, or it may be anything, anywhere it can be the ulcer be. So these people will have a stress connection. So it is obviously known these people will have stress due to their pain and the ineffectiveness of them doing all sort of activities that we have already going through. So dealing with stress. So we have some stress management tips like we can change how we react to the or the particular individual react to the positive or the negative thing. So basically these people will have a negative attitude towards the people who are talking to them, or maybe the family members, or it may be, so they can change how they react to those people. And next is like, though they got their peptic ulcer, they can change it by maintaining their physical health. So they can eat well. So whatever might be, it may be a chewy food or non-chewy food, it may be liquid or whatever it may be. So they can have a healthy food meantime. So they can get a plenty of sleep. So these are the factors that is adding to the physical health. So how they can add to their or how they can maintain their physical. So they can get a plenty of sleep and exercise regularly. So normally a human being should exercise for 20 minutes daily, so that their physical and as well as the mental well-being will be so proper in nature. So apart from normal being, so these people who are affected with these sort of ulcers or any disorders or disease it can be, so they can enroll themselves in maintaining their physical health, like doing exercises regularly. And next is like they can be physically active. So as I said before, the symptoms of anxiety and the depression that is caused due to these disorders or the disease will be reduced. So there is a scientific facts like the exercises can reduce these symptoms of anxiety and depression. So they can, as I said before, they can exercise at least 20 minutes 3 days a week. Not a daily 20 minutes is not much needed. Whereas they can They can exercise for at least 20 minutes 3 days a week. So thrice a week will do good for staying they're physically active. And next is like they must set limits to certain things. So whatever might be, they may be angry, they may be resentful, they may be so depressed towards their family members or towards themselves. There should be some limit. So like we or the patient who is suffering with peptic ulcers make some they must remember to make some time for themselves and activities that are important to them. So like if they are having some crave towards their hobbies like gardening, like reading books or seeing movies, going out, whatever it may be, so they must set limits to themselves. So they apart so when they get time for all these things, the sort of a depression and the stress that is related to these peptic ulcers might get reduced. And most probably reaching out to others is another sort of dealing with this stress, because as a human being we all should reach out when we reach out to others or to the person who is so close to us for us to sort out the problem or just to ventilate to them is so there is a saying like when we ventilate, I hope you all would understand Tamil. So நம்ம மத்தவங்க கிட்ட சொல்லிட்டாலே பாதி கஷ்டம் வந்து குறைஞ்சிரும் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி வந்து there will be a saying like in Tamil. So this is what is reaching out to others. So when you feel so stressed, when it so intensify you, when it pressurize all your daily activities, you can spend time with the person who's too trustworthy to you, and so that they'll give some solution. You can deal with this sort of problems. You can sort out all these sort of issues with this this manner. So for at least a short while, not more than a day or going out for a week, that and all not needed. So through a phone call or through social media. So we all know social media also will make us to get connected to the people where we lost the physical connection. So all these will be will make will make the people to reach out to other people. And next is like building some relaxation time into your day. So how far you work, it may be 8 hours, it may be 9 hours, it may be anything. So you must set some time for yourself. So it is for your relaxation time or the patient's relaxation time. So they may have some in-depth stress or in-depth work pressure, which will again impact the peptic ulcer, taking intake of foods, getting good sound sleep or whatever it may be. So all these things can be rectified or it can be changed to a proper positive manner by creating a relaxation time for ourselves. So it can be we can take a walk or with the person whom we like so much or with our parents or whatever it may be, or reading a book or listening to a good music, because there is a therapy like there's a music therapy. So there's an institute in Delhi. It is known as Wim Hans. What they'll do is apart from focusing on all the medications, all the important therapies, they'll give cooking therapy, they'll give music therapies, and they'll give all sorts of very relaxation therapies to those people, apart from occupational or occasional, whatever it may be. So these things where the patient will give more interest, and from that stress they'll get out of. So these are the techniques that we can use or the patient can use to reduce the stress that is related to ulcer.
Thank you, ma'am. It was very beautiful the way you explained. Ma'am, the third question is what should be the approach of an individual while consuming food, because unhealthy consumption leads to acidity, which ultimately leads to ulcer.
Yes. So whenever we may take a food, it should be a holistic approach. So holistic all means the food we intake is more important for our mindfulness and our body and our soul. So when all these are get connected in a well manner, both our psychological and our physical well-being both will be in a well manner. So there are that should be a holistic one. So to look into the holistic approach to wellness. So it is like an approach to being healthy. So that looks as a person's health in a holistic way. So when we look into, so this consider our body, this consider our mind, as I said before, this consider our spirit, so how we react to the persons, how we react to our normalized stress, whatever it may be. So how to start a holistic lifestyle or how to look into the food that we consume in a holistic way means, so we need to intake the unprocessed food and unrefined food organic foods and locally grown foods. So the every district or every state will be popular for a particular food, or it may be. So the locally grown food will be add a good nutrition to all our intakes or whatever it may be. So then it's like we need to have a before getting into we may have like an impact from our peers or whatever it may be, whoever it may be, we are being with to have an unhealthy food, to have a roadside food, to have a junk food or whatever it may be. So when we look into the individual's perspective, so at last the person who is going to get affected is myself. So when I have to look into the food in a proper manner where that food will add a good good impact to my mind, to my body, and my soul. So apart from this, the deep breathing, the body awareness, we all must know. So what will get good for what will suit good for my body. So when I'm having sinus, like for an example, so when I'm having sinus, when I take continuous cold item, means possibly it will affect my my general health. So I need to know, I need to be aware of my body. So then it's like imaginary foods, like we may see anything, we may surf, we may do any sort of activities, or we may cause by any shops that we go through. So we should not get attracted to all these things. All these sort of foods that we see in an imaginary manner will obviously affect, will give a negative impact to our physical health.
Yeah, ma'am. There is a saying like ki the food which are tasty are not healthy.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, ma'am. So moving to the next question, ma'am. The next question is: as alcohol and smoking significantly increases the risk of gastric ulcer for a person who has an addiction to alcohol or smoking and also suffering from an ulcer, in that situation, how should he avoid drinking or smoking?
So this is not only for the techniques which I'm going to give is not only for the people who are affected with peptic ulcer or any other. It is for the people who are most getting addicted to the alcohol. So there are few 5 points that I would like to highlight here is we must set a goal. When a particular individual, so when I'm taking an example of a addicted person whom I've seen already, like he'll be taking a large number of 4 or 5 beers or 10 beers per day. So we must set a goal as a psychologist or a psychiatric social worker working with the people. So we must set a goal for those people. Immediately we cannot ask them to stop that intake. So first we must set a goal. So we must say, like, when you take 10 beers of a bottle, so you need to reduce it to 5. So per day you can take 5. So then later it should be reduced to 3. Then later it should be 2. So then later that temptation towards taking that alcohol will get reduced by that people. So next point is like that, reduce temptation. So it is all the adolescent in this era, or the youth in this era, or the people, adult people, are getting tempted because of their peers. So when they take and give them some suggestions like this would be good, this would be good, you just intake for the first time, and this first time will lead them to get addicted. So this is how we need to reduce the temptation, whatever might be, whomever might be the one who is pressurizing you to take all these alcohols and drugs or whatever it may be. So these we must have some self-control by reducing the temptation that it gives. So again, we must learn to say no at a particular point. So whatever might be the pressure or anything, any sort of, it may be gatherings, it may be occasional drinking, whatever it may be. So you can take some other drinks which is so normal, which is fresh, just like anything. So not which is giving so addiction. So apart from alcohol, there are various drinks that is not giving much that is not having some addictive factors. So you can intake that, and we must learn to say no, and wherever it may be. So according, no, saying no is for everyone, not only for a woman or not only for a man. So it is for everyone that we must learn to say no, or whenever it may be. And next is like whenever we are free, or so you can look after the people who are so addicted, so they'll be so relaxed in the manner which means they'll not be having any sort of work to do for their daily life, or like they'll be sitting in a relaxed manner, or they'll not be going for work. They'll get the money and they'll grab the money from their parents or the spouses, it can be. So what those people should do is, like, they must make them to stay occupied. So like going for work, so which work they are so preferring, they can go for that work, and they must stay occupied in that manner. And apart from all these things, when they are not able to control all these sort of impacts or the pressure they get from the society or the people who are affected, sorry, people who are making them to drink this, they can get a support, getting into the rehabilitation center, getting the support of psychological counselors and psychiatric social workers as and being a psychologist, and they immediately the all these things cannot be taken into consideration by an individual who is getting affected with the alcohol addiction, but step by step. So there is a process of there is a process in the psychiatric setting to make that people to get relief, sorry, de-addicted from the alcohol. So it is a step of process, but for a normal being who sort of who's getting into this sort of addiction, they can all have these. They must set a goal, as I said before, and they must reduce the temptation that is being caused, and they must learn to say no to all these sort of activities, and they must stay occupied whenever they are not having any sort of work to do or daily work or daily job that they are not going, and they must get support at the last. Yes.
All right, ma'am. Once again, you explained it very beautifully. Yeah, moving to the last question, ma'am. As stress is one of the major causes of peptic ulcer disease and many other diseases as well, what are the healthy ways we should follow to deal with stress?
Yes. All, as I said before, all are just summary of things which I'm going to recollect all those things. So first is like we must build in a regular exercise. So to have a healthy and mentally well-being an individual or a human being, we must practice some regular exercises. It can be a walking, it can be, as I said before, 20 minutes of exercise thrice a day will do good for managing or to cope up with your stress. So these are the things that is being considered or that is being given by WHO for maintaining or to, these are the ways to cope up with the stress. So there are 10 simple ways that I want to give you all. So first is like building a regular exercise pattern. So it can be the morning. So when we do exercises in the morning means it would be so effective in nature. Whereas when we do it, so when we are so hurry-burry to our jobs means we can come at the back, sorry, come back to the home and getting involved into all these sort of regular activities. So these moving your bodies on a regular basis will balance all our nervous system, and this will increase. We all know when we walk means all our heart, our blood circulation will be in a proper manner, and this will be effective in our physical and mental well-being. So this will also help us to flush out from the stress hormones that has been a major cause for getting stress or getting anxiety. So next is like rebalance your work and home. So at this technical era, we all are looking into the perspective of work, not being considering our home or people who are so attached to it, whatever it may be. So nowadays, work from homes are so it is so popular that the people at the homes are doing work for the 24/7, leaving behind all the works. Not only men but also women are also getting so so stressed in work from home. But we need to know how to balance our work as well as our home. So when we are able to balance the work and the home, so we'll be literally enjoy our days in the life. So being at the home is equal to being at the work. So work is work while you wait. So there's a saying like work while you wait, play while you play. So all these things. So when it is in work, it has to be a professional one. So when we come out of the work, the home should be our most priority one. So we must not take they must not take too much time in spending at the office. This will intentionally put some pressure in the people at the home. And then it's like we must create some calendars to enjoy time for our fun. So like going out with the family members daily, or sorry, not daily, it is not possible. So maybe weekly once or monthly thrice it can be, either alone or with the members, with the family members or with the person who is so close to you. And next is like eating well and like the limiting the alcohols and stimulants that will intentionally cause the stress or people. So the person who's intaking the alcohol might think that it will relieve the stress that they have at the particular time, but obviously it will insert the stress that they into their bodies, because well nourished bodies will cope better. So starting from the breakfast we have till the intake that we take in the lunch, that in the during the brunch or whatever it may be in the dinner or whatever it may be. So adding more to our organic foods, fruits, vegetables, and avoiding all these processes will obviously have an good impact in our mental as well as physical well-being. And the negative health impacts, like getting into the addictions of alcohol, stimulants, or nicotine, caffeine, drugs like cannabis, all these things. Nowadays, like I would just want to quote an example here, or just want to give a lively example here. So when our students go for a field work, so they'll be placed in a proper government school in Chennai, around Chennai. So we came to know from our students, like school children are getting addicted to drugs inside their school campus, where they are getting easily the drugs. It is all because of the surroundings that they cause these people to get addicted. So we must know our limit. As I said before, we must learn to say no, because once we intake, this will obviously affect not only our mental health, whereas the people who are dependent on us or who are surrounded by us will get affected. So third point will be like eating well and limiting the alcohols and the stimulant. And next is like connecting with the supportive people. Yes. This COVID situation has curbed all our chances to go out and getting connected personally, face-to-face connection is so less. But talking face-to-face with another person, there's a fact, like talking face-to-face with another person releases hormones that reduces stress. There is research, there is findings that says like this. So when we talk to a person who's so close to us, who's so supportive to us, will obviously release the brain, so that reduces. Sorry, that will reduce the stress hormone that has been so. The one thing which you have to do is you must lean on a good listeners of your life. So you should not go and ventilate blah 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 doing to anyone, but that person who is listening to you should be a good listener to all your problems, and he should be able to give some sort of coping mechanism that you can able to adapt in your daily life. And next is like carving out your hobby times. Yes. So nowadays, people's hobby will be like playing PUBGs or playing with their friends, or whatever it may be. So when we look into the previous eras, all these hobby times will be in the gardening, will be in the reading or listening to some music and other sort of creative activities. So we must engage, or we must give some sort of techniques to these eras children to get into the activities that they enjoy, and that will give pressure to those people. So again, there is a fact, like when they get involved into their hobby like this, the hormones that is being increased due to stress will get reduced, and this will obviously lower your heart rate and almost half of your heart rate. And next is like practicing meditation, stress reduction techniques, or yoga. So there is techniques like JPMR. So it is Jacobson Progressive Muscle Relaxation Techniques, which will give some relaxation to all your muscles. So there is 26 steps, I think, so that you can go through your in your Google or surf through your Google. So it is Jacobson Progressive Muscle Relaxation that every individual can follow. Not only the people who are in psychiatric setting should follow that. அப்படின்றது கிடையாது. So it is like JPMR can be followed by anyone. It is like a technique from head to toe. So there is a 26 step. We need to in deep breathe, and we need to relax all our muscles. It's like, so not for your 26 steps, but for your just 5 steps would do good, right? Relaxation techniques will do good. And practicing meditation and stress yogas will obviously, we all would have gone through such sayings like meditations and yogas will obviously have a holistic approach, holistic impact in all your mental and physical well-being. And sleeping, yes. Sleeping less than 7 to 8 hours, your sleep, your body will not tolerate your stress as well as it could be. So like when you have a good sound sleep, your body will get a relaxed position. So sleeping enough in a proper time, like going to bed at the 10 and waking up at the 5 will do good. So apart from it, surfing into your phone or surfing into all your social medias and getting to sleep by 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock after putting every status, this will not do good for your mental well-being. So adding some spoon of sleep to your for your mental well-being will do good for yourself. And we all can take a vacation. So these are like addition test tips that I want to give. And if you have a good pet with you, or you could serve the pets that is in the street, not your own pet, but the pet that you have in your streets will obviously give an relaxation techniques to you. So we all would have know that dogs or the pets would be a good companion for all our human beings, and this will obviously reduce the anxiety level that we have towards it. And next is like going for a vacation. This is quite normal for every family going into the vacation at least twice a year or thrice a year. So this will give a productive persons that we all would come to know the mental and emotional outlook of all our how we are looking into our perspective. It maybe we will come to know about all people in our family. So at this generation, we all are passing our messages or communicating through our WhatsApp or whatever it may be, social media. But we don't find time to have time being with our family members or whomever it may be. So this will be a good setup for getting to know about the people in your family or your people around you. And last but not the least is, whenever all these 9 techniques is not being suitable for you and you're not able to come out of the stress, you can see a counselor who's so professional in nature, or you can see a therapist who can help you out in getting out of all these negative thoughts. There will be a big factor, like you can seek professional help at any time. It is not only during your stressful time or depression time or addiction time, whatever it may be. So when you are not able to cope up with your anything, academic purpose like where the relationship issues are, you can seek the help of professional people. It is not like the stigmas and the discrimination that people undergo previous in the 80s or later 70s are just curbed at this generation. Getting appointment from a psychiatrist is so normal at this era. So whenever you feel low, or you couldn't able to cope up with all your stress or anxiety with the help of above set techniques, you can seek the help of professional people, and you can make an appointment with them for your health and the life, because it is so worthy. So life is to enjoy, life is to make it worth, or whatever it may be. So seek the help of professionals whenever needed, because everybody can give you some advice, some sort of advice, where that advice will collapse you, so confuse you. So what to take, how to take, everything will be. But when you go into a professional help, they will guide you in a proper manner to get into some they'll help you to get in a professional way. So there is one more advantage of getting a professional help, like they'll not give a solution to that particular time, whereas people around us will give solution to that particular time only, where the professional will give help, will make you to cope up when you have these sort of issues again and again in your life, so that the treatment or the problem of getting sorted out will be a lifetime treatment for you people. I think I have given the brief, or like whatever you asked for.
Yeah, ma'am, absolutely. Definitely, we're gonna follow this tip you shared with us to make our life healthier mentally and physically. So, ma'am, here we come to the end. Now is the time to announce the
Thank
3
you.
winners of yesterday's quiz.
So yes, Rishabh has given me one assignment, like to read out the people who are winner for EP2 quiz on physical fitness and COVID. Like, shall
Yeah,
I go from
yeah, you can go from third as
third
well.
place? Yes,
Yeah, ma'am.
third place is been bagged by Amia Kukade. So congratulations, Amia. So second place is bagged by Snehal Janorkar. So congratulations, Nehal. And first place is backed by Tejal Kadam. So a hearty congratulations to all people who got this prize, and for those people who have participated also, congratulations to all one. Thank you.
And ma'am, thank you, ma'am, for all this information. You are giving a lot to the world, and we are glad that we got this opportunity of having you for today's episode. It was a wonderful and informative interaction. Really like the way you explained each and every step. You did enlighten our mind in a lot of ways, and we hope to see you again in this club whenever we'll get an
Sure.
opportunity. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.